Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Dash Brandon and I have adjusted my audio. I get a lot of comments, especially in Dungeon Defenders videos, that my audio was basically ass. That I needed to turn up myself and or turn down the game, so we have accomplished that in this video. This is the fourth or fifth time I've recorded this video. Um, Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. Anyways, what we're talking about today is how to build a support hero. And as you can see, I'm level 91, so I've got a little bit of time in the game. I think Steam says I have 100 and some odd hours, which is not a lot in this game by any means when you're talking about, uh, hour and a half to do a survival run in Nightmare on just about any map. Um, but anyways, we're going to be talking about making a support hero today. And this is mainly aimed at people that want to make progression a little bit easier for a group of people or for themselves. Um, this might be, maybe your stats aren't quite there with your gear, or you haven't spent all of your gold to level up your gear, and maybe you might be leeching a little bit, um, which is not really a laughing matter. But maybe the person doesn't really need your assistance, but you could make things a bit better. You could be useful for the team. You're going to be a support hero. So the number one choice for a support hero is typically the monk, and that's because if we were to put down, um, a DST with our apprentice here, level it up all the way, hits for 237,000 as the builder bonus. We've got a trans Giraffon that hasn't been upgraded. A lot of our gear hasn't been upgraded. I just got out of a run before this save was loaded. And usually I get out of a run, I change my gear around, then I upgrade it, then I go into the next run. So anyways, so we're doing 237,000. We dropped about 50k. About 50k just switching to the monk. But then when we press F, all of a sudden we gain almost 100. And that's an AoE. It's going to affect every tower within its sphere of influence. Everything the light touches will be affected by that. And that is actually your rune of skill that you get points into to make that scale more. The rune of boost, which you would think, it's a boost monk. It's boosting things. No, that's not what you want. You want the skill. If we were to go back here to toggle the stats, you can see that my skill is about 1200. My boost is 169. Usually I'm using my my monk for sometimes attack, other time, well, like sometimes he's my DPS hero, but I've been leaning more and more into making him just a support hero. His fort is still relatively high. That's what I look for on his gear, and that is so that our ensnare and our strength drains have a decent chunk of health. If we were to upgrade those real quick, 22, almost 23k isn't anything to sneeze at. It's not too shabby on a strength drain. Ensnares don't scale as well. 12.5 still plenty for most things. Not too shabby. But yeah, so we've put a lot of work into our rune of skill so that we can do this. The other thing that you might want to look at. Okay, so let me talk about my thoughts here for just a moment. I have two monk weapons. One, as you can see, is a bunch of points into the skill. Pretty much almost all the points. We also put into range damage and projectile speed, and that's it. The other weapon is more into damage, more into projectile speed, and it's basically my damage weapon, my DPS weapon. It still has a lot of points to go. It's got 200 points to go. The other one has about 180 points to go, give or take. But basically what I have here is I have a skill weapon and I have a DPS weapon. So I have options. I can do either one. Right now I pretty much just leave my skill weapon on. I did put some upgrades into the damage. As you can see, we put current value was 247. We put 210 points into it. And then we did some range damage points and some projectile speed points and projectile count. I believe we had to do 1 or 2 there. I did that because I still want to be able to kill, say, a spider or walk into a group of goblins and be able to slay them at least somewhat efficiently. I want to be able to defend myself. I don't want to just be standing on a tower the whole time. If, you know, there's other things I could be doing. I could be shooting an ogre. You could get a rogue ogre, a roger if you will, that is out of range of towers, and you still have to walk over there and damage him down at the end of a wave. So that is what we have done with our weapons. The other important thing that you need to keep an eye out for is your gemstones. You get these by running the very last stage, the summit, on any difficulty, but the higher the difficulty and hardcore, the better they will be. As you can see, I currently have on a speedy gemstone. This is the #1 most requested gemstone. They cap at a buff of, I believe it's 1.9. It's definitely on the wiki, and I definitely have forgotten. A decent roll is 1.6 to 1.8, and then you can upgrade it. As you can see, I upgraded the vitality on mine just a little bit. If I had a skill here, I might have put into skill on it. We did some fortify, and then we did defensive rate buff and the maximum targets. Defensive rate buff, I think, used to be called pet power. In fact, I'm pretty much positive it used to be called pet power until a recent update. Yeah, because it's 1.724. So that's basically our towers are firing. The way I interpret it is they're firing 1.72 times faster. So, is that like a 72% upgrade in speed? That sounds about right. I mean, if you walk away, so one thing you can tell about this is we'll sell this, so it's a little bit easier to see. If we walk away from the tower, it loses that little globe around it. That little globe is telling you that we are influencing this tower. As soon as that little globe pops up, the buff, you can see how much faster it starts to fire. Also, we have a maximum of 4 targets we can affect. I've heard people talking about max targets of 8. Haven't seen one of those. I don't think they exist. According to the wiki, max targets is 4 for pets. So you can affect 4 towers at one time, and you'll be able to boost the crap out of them. The other pet that you want to keep an eye out for if you're rolling a support type hero is a powerful gemstone. This is a 1.808 buff, which is pretty good. 4 max targets, and as you can see, I went into vitality on this one. Again, no skill option here. Defensive power buff is the pet power. We had to upgrade max targets, so you have to be real careful with these when you're upgrading them. We can show you on this striking. So say we're trying to make this striking hit the max targets and get as much pet power as we can. I believe it's every 3 points here. Then you can do 1 here. And then if you do another couple points, you just go back and forth. You don't want to accidentally put a point in the wrong spot. Ooh, getting close. Getting close. We have, how many more points? 5? So we know we need at least 2 more down here. we have 1 point and we can't hit the maximum upgrade points here. It's too bad. Anyways, you would reset then, you would start over. And that is the right way and the wrong way to level up your pet. I have accidentally trashed a pet for leveling it up poorly. This might be one of them. No, this wasn't one of them. This is a striking pet though. Also, your gemstones can only stack with a different kind of a gemstone on the same towers. So you can't put 2 striking together and get like massive range. You can't put 2 powerful together and hit hard as a truck. And to show you just how hard the powerful hits, we're at 366,000 with our buff up. We might have to walk away and then walk back into the tower. Or maybe we need to wait for the tower to go away. 663,000. But we're firing slower, so it's a trade-off. Ideally, you would have a person with a speedy, and you would have a person with a powerful. Striking isn't as necessary. This is another speedy I had in case I want to put it onto another hero. I could put it onto an apprentice. Apprentice is the only other hero that you would want to level up as a support type hero, in my opinion, because the apprentice can supercharge your towers to hit harder using their skill ability. Wait, is it their skill? No, it's their C. So they hit C, and then you're supposed to be able to just hit this, and it hits harder. I don't actually see the numbers happening that way, but that's how it's supposed to work. Ideally, let me switch. Ideally, you would just do a monk. It's just easier to wrap your head around. I've also seen a lot fewer monks lately, for some reason. I don't know if people are just leveling the gear that you need to complete like the Nightmare Hardcore and stuff, but yeah, just do a monk. I have a Propeller Cat. If you need to be DPS, you can get them in the Alchemical Lab. But this isn't a video about DPS. This is a video about building support and being useful for your team. And I think, with all that being said, that we've reached the end of the video. Remember, powerful and speedy gemstones. Go and farm the summit until your eyes bleed. A good one is upgrade of 40. I think that might be the cap. 40 upgrades right now. At least until, I believe it is Massacre mode will be next. Until Massacre. Ooh. Can we see that? Massacre. Yeah, I don't know why these are all like this. It's probably the way that I like played through the game. At some point I'll have to go and unlock all that just for fun. Anyways, worry about your gemstones. If you're a monk, worry about your skill, not your boost. Skill. You get a little bit more leeway when you're dropping your buff. If you're standing on top of the DSTs, I find you might have a slightly bigger sphere of influence, like so. Be able to affect more towers. But that's pretty much all the tips I have for you. You can also keep your F up pretty much indefinitely, so long as you do not hit your C button. If you hit your C button, you decide that you want a DPS, you're going to run yourself out of mana, then you'll have to wait to get your F up, and it's probably not going to be worth it. Unless you're having a DPS down and over with other people that are DPS focused. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Dash Brandon. Hopefully the audio is much better now. I had already uploaded another video. I was like, nah, that one's not that good. It wasn't the audio that was a problem. It was, I was talking smack about putting points into the skill attribute, I guess, and I had forgotten that in this game it's very important to remember that a couple points, you know, less than a few hundred, you're not going to see the gains that you would when you go 1200, 2000 into something, you know. It's a very, I don't know, slow upgrade path. I don't know. I don't know how to say it, but it takes a lot of points for something to be good in this game. Not just a few. Spreading them out is not that great, typically. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. I'm Dash Brandon. Bye-bye.